Hello and welcome to our podcast series for International Teachers Day, where we're, of course, doing it in conjunction with the Overseas School of Colombo. A series that's obviously bringing back some of the old students who've actually graduated at different times from the 80s to all the way to 2018, 2019. And also at the same time, we are looking out and bringing on show some of the teachers who've actually been at school, taught almost all of these students for the last several years, ensuring the fact that, these individuals have instilled something in us. After all, the series is all about International Teachers Day. Teachers have actually played a massive role in each of our lives, and every single one of us who's actually sitting on the podcast right throughout the series has definitely been, what's the right word? Some individuals have, of course, been sort of, aligned with the teachers than the stuff that they're actually instilled in us. On this particular episode, it's episode 3, we've got 3 individuals who actually graduated very close to the time that I did, which is good because in the previous episodes, I had somebody from 1988, then 2017, it's like far apart. But we've got Kamlesh Johnpillai on the show with us. Kamlesh, thank you so much for coming on the show.
No problem.
We've got Miss Sureshnie. Miss Sureshnie, you taught all of us, didn't you?
I think I remember Sanka, you,
Yeah.
Darshan definitely. Kamlesh, he's been there during my time.
Right.
But I kind of not connect
I was
very much with him.
Right.
But he says he did not come to the library where I was.
Yeah,
yeah.
That explains.
You didn't need
But
the
I
library.
remember the
Yeah.
John Pillays. I
Right.
remember the John Pillays. So
We got Sanka on the show. Sanka, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
and of
you,
course,
thank
Dharshana, thank you for being a part of the series. We'll start off with Miss Sureshnie. Miss Sureshnie was, of course, a librarian, and she used to see almost all of us walking in and out of the library. Were we reading? We don't know. But were we going into the library whenever we want to? We were, for sure. Miss Sureshnie, how long have you worked at OSC?
well, I worked from 1989. That means when I retired was 34 years of working at Overseas School of Colombo. So I started first working in the secondary library and moved on to primary, where I kind of retired. So I remember definitely Riaz, the time that I joined school with the Lentons and in the secondary school. So yeah, so I taught the range of students from secondary to primary, as well as then I used to get involved with CAS.
Yes.
After some time when I started working at primary, I missed not meeting some of the secondary, working with the secondary students. So I did do some CAS work, and I kind of tried to keep in touch with the secondary kids. So
How has school changed from the time that we were there till the time you actually retired?
uh, I would say the curriculums change in a particular way because we became a full-fledged IB school at some point. But before that, I think in your time, you had IGCSE as well.
Yeah.
So we had 2 different curriculums being run at the same time. And then there were exams during your time, I think, for certain grades.
Yeah.
And then it became no exams at all. It was more kids, I would say, it's not modules, but the work environment, at least study environment did change with
Right.
IB quite a bit. And so I think you did not have all the IB exposure.
No, I don't. We had exams.
Yeah, we had
We
exams.
on a weekly basis.
We had
Yeah.
exams. Not weekly basis, but we had exams. Yeah, we had exams.
We had exams.
Yeah. So you had your grade 10 exam, you had your, of course, grade 12
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
So I think
11
it's
mock exams in grade 11.
Yeah.
And then we got the
Yeah.
IB,
Yeah.
IB. Yeah.
and grade 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, things
It
have
is IB,
definitely
yeah.
changed.
We had the choice of picking the IB.
Okay.
But when I joined in 11th grade, so I decided to opt out of it. But I should have, because I was a little worried, to be honest with you.
Right.
Because they said that you need to have the foundation from grade 9, 10, 11, and then you do the exam in 12th grade.
Yeah.
Since I joined from a non-IB school into the IB curriculum, I decided to forego it and just do the diploma, the school diploma.
Ah,
Right,
yeah.
right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
So taking back, obviously going back in those good old days, Kamlesh, starting with you, Kamlesh was basically 1 year junior to me.
I was 1 year
1 year
younger, yeah,
junior.
yeah.
Yeah. Back in school those days, in terms of certain teachers who have taught you, is there one that actually stands out for you?
Teaching wise, yeah. Mrs. Samarveer.
Mrs. Samarvela,
Yeah,
yeah,
from physics. I actually did physics with her last 2 years. She was good. Mr. Malling, English teacher, who taught us economics.
right.
Yeah, actually.
He's
So-
lying. He's not telling who the teacher that made the most impact. I think the drama teacher did.
Yeah, she really did.
He
Actually.
was the only guy in the drama
Oh,
class.
And you're here to keep things. Damn.
You're here to keep things under wraps.
Don't talk about it.
Talk about it when the cameras don't roll.
No, because the drama teacher made an impact in my life, even though I didn't take drama. So yeah.
So, Mrs. Fleming, if you're watching, we miss you.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, I mean, we had so many teachers. Basically, all of them obviously have played different roles in our lives right here in school. Sanka was a couple of years senior to me.
Yeah.
Sanka, how when you tell somebody as far as overseas, that's where you went to when you asked them, what's that one thing that comes into your mind as far as school is concerned that you still hold true to your heart?
Yeah, I think school was good. There were good teachers. There were teachers I remember till now. Like for example, Mr. Nimal. This is where we met now. My maths teacher, such a calm, collected individual, amazing man. I can still remember now. I'm so happy to see him. So there were a couple of teachers who made a mark on. Another thing I can remember OCS is while there were studies and we did the IGCSE and the IB and everything. I think I remember it's the sports wise. I remember I joined in I came in 88 or 87.
Right.
And Mr. Hodgkinson was
Yes, Paul
the
Hodgkinson.
PE teacher.
That's right.
And he was British.
Yeah.
And we did everything like from volleyball, basketball, table tennis, archery, rugby, football, javelin,
Yeah.
discus. He got us, even the PE teachers after that, they got us to do all the sports. So the things that we never even touched, like
That's right.
and with that, I think we all became like we interacted with other people, with other students. We played the game, kind of thing. That's something I remember still. How OCS gave us like a sort of like a rounded
Environment.
environment.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and I never did drama actually. I never did drama, but there was the annual the drama. There was
The
a
production. Yeah.
I never did drama. There was a bunch of us who, Madhushan, Mufadil, me, no, we're not going to do drama kind of thing. But we always look forward to, to that event, and if the whole school got involved. So there was like, it was not only studies,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, there was not only studies, it was like a bunch of things that made it nice and interesting for me. I can remember teachers like, for example, a chemistry teacher. There was a Dr. Shaw. Do you remember Dr. Shaw?
Dr. Shaw was English teacher, was he?
No, he was a chemistry teacher.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was a reasonably well-made man.
He was
and
he was a hefty man.
and he used to wear a bow tie.
That's right.
And chemistry, remember Vicky, the chemistry lab assistant.
The lab assistant. Yeah,
And
yeah.
he used to have this English accent. He would say, "Vicky, can you bring out the Bunsen burner?" out of the thing, right? And I remember so very well. One thing was he wanted to explain how atoms work, kind of thing. And the chemistry lab, there were 4 or 5 gigantic tables with a base at the bottom.
Yeah.
He got us all, about 8 of us, to get into that under the table and to squeeze
Right.
to explain how atoms
Atoms work.
work, kind of thing. I can still remember that this. I mean, there are like things that
Hands-on.
that have made a mark.
Yeah, for
kind of
sure.
thing,
The memories that
Yeah.
obviously hold on to. Dharshana, you also at the end of the day came and basically worked with school for a while.
I did.
right?
Yeah.
Well, how was that like compared to when you were studying in school?
I think it was a great experience because I mean I got the experience as a student, and then I didn't teach. I was working in the business office.
Right.
I did the marketing for the school. So I got to see. I mean, one of the questions that a lot of parents asked was the discipline of the school, and I think that was the most common question asked. And I always said the discipline comes from home, not school, because 2/3 of the day you are spending time with your parents. So yes, the school give you an opportunity to fix certain things, to interact with other people, but the discipline actually comes from home. So, I mean, it was an experience where I was able to kind of think as a student as well when it came to marketing. And then I had the opportunity to interact with students and hopefully made a positive impact on certain people, because they would come and ask certain questions. Hey, since you were a student, what's your advice on these areas? So it was great. It was fun time.
Interesting. I mean, we're also basically looking at some of the things that I think all of us were really involved back in school. Sports actually played a big role in our lives, Kamlesh. I know you were heavily involved in basketball at that point, and we had SISA that actually took place.
And then you were a hooker, no?
The rugby.
Rugby.
Yep, yep, yep.
I played second row. You were the hooker with Suresh and Manisha on prop forward, and Harold was second row.
Yeah,
Sebastian was the lock.
Sebastian Lock, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you remember all that.
Yeah.
I should just step down now.
Yeah.
He remembers more than I do.
No, my classmates, all were
Of course,
classmates.
of
You were
course.
the only one out.
The younger one, you mean.
Younger one.
Kamlesh, of course, was heavily involved in basketball. How did basketball and the discipline in obviously the school and culture in basketball, stuff that you take out from school to your work life, how does that help you?
Well, playing sports, it helped me get it lost, at work, personal life, and fight back and get back on the game. Basketball has been really good for me. And I played basketball after I left school in uni as well. So, yeah, it was good. I have no complaints. I don't know what to say. I don't know, basketball, I started playing basketball properly at OCS.
Yeah.
And it just came naturally. So, it's one of those things.
But your son is also basically now.
He plays a lot.
He plays basketball. When you sit down with your kids and you talk about school life to them, right? What usually are the questions that they ask you?
Yes. What the hell, man?
Can't be giving all those questions. No, what I'm trying to say is, what's the stuff that you obviously instill? Say, in our days when we were in school, these are things that we used to do. I mean, which as parents we actually do tell our kids.
I don't know. Well, the school, I mean, when we were in school, I think my kids are doing a better job right now than when we were in school.
Right,
Because we were not we were good kids, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's the reason he never went to the library. He didn't have to. He studied at home.
Yeah.
He came here. He did his stuff, and
Online.
I've even heard of those days.
Was online at that time?
No, there was no online.
Yeah.
Not that much. Yeah.
No. No, but honestly, I think the kids today are miles ahead of when we were in school. I think, but OCS is an amazing place. I mean, it helped me move from high school to university, the transition. I'm sure it's the same with you, love.
Yeah.
The transition wasn't so hard at all.
Yeah.
And at all. So
I think
that
it
was
also helped us become better global citizens. As the tag says, unity in diversity. Part of the things that we didn't actually touch on was the fact that we had to do community service
Right.
in order for us to get the diploma.
Yeah.
It was mandatory for us to do it.
That CAS,
So-
right? CAS. Yeah.
So they, not only did we study, but the teachers and the faculty made sure that we were involved with day-to-day lives of people in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
So, and I know it still continues. I mean, when I was working as well, there were a lot of projects to do with the environment, stray dogs or stray animals, feeding the poor. So it still continues.
There's one where Mr. Lal Abraham, you guys remember?
Yes,
So
yes.
we had a IT class which we gave after school
Yeah.
for the local kids here.
Yeah.
And I remember Visuddha was heading it. I was involved. Lal, I can't remember, a few more others as well. And yeah, it was, we did some great work actually.
Yeah.
We also, I think, still school has the host nation program, which is like from preschool through grade 5. That's mandatory that they do host nation, which is like integrating the local culture into the curriculum. So, and then festivals, the New Year, the Vesak, and all these things. So I think most often OSC kids have gone through and are proud of their culture, of the Sri Lankan culture, and they have time to celebrate it because of the host culture program here. And sometimes I remember my own two kids, they've worn the national costume, which their counterpart, their cousins have not, although they've been in local schools. So, like, little things I think OSC does to integrate with the local culture, which is really great. So,
one of the things, Sanka, of course, is the fact that because of the students that we actually get ourselves acquainted to, they come from so many different countries. You know for a fact that you have a friend somewhere in the world wherever
Yes,
you go.
yeah.
yes,
You know,
yes,
Yeah.
that obviously helps us immensely, which lots of people don't necessarily seem to understand.
and
That,
that,
you know.
yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And the one thing that we're obviously trying to do is to build the alumni network, which is one of the reasons that we're actually
Yes,
doing
Yeah.
yes.
the podcast series, to actually build the alumni network and make sure that students from whatever year that they actually graduated is going to be part of the alumni. Dasha, was there a teacher that you were absolutely petrified of in school, that you used to think twice of going into a class? I mean, I had one. I'll tell you who it is, but I had one.
I wasn't petrified, but we had kind of like a love-hate relationship. And I still remember one day I got so upset by the way she spoke to me, I actually walked out of the class.
Right.
Yeah. So I was a bit of a troublemaker, I would say, in that way. But I think she realized at that time and she came and actually apologized. And I respected her a lot more simply because she left away that I'm a teacher title, came back and said, hey, Dharshana, I think I overreacted and I apologize for the way that I behaved. And I respected her. And our relationship became so much better
Right.
afterwards. So, and that's something that's, I think, not so common in a lot of schools. So here, yeah, they have that mutual respect. So yeah, I'm not going to mention the name.
No, no, no. We don't want you to
but
mention the name.
but I would say she was an English teacher.
Right. I mean, I can mention the name because unfortunately he's not there anymore.
Right.
Mr. Newton Pereira.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Right.
No, but Mr. Newton, I had a physics teacher.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then the what they call the neurons, and he goes on and on about the thing. He was a bit tough, but he was okay. He was not.
No,
he was
I mean,
okay.
I mean, I wasn't necessarily petrified. He used to question why I used to come into his class. Why are you here? I have physics. No, I don't want you here. Yeah, but you have those
Yeah.
moments, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Ms. Sureshnie, how has things moved on from that point to now, to the school culture, so to say? You know, how's the transformation you see with the children?
Well, kids are kids.
Mhm.
So although it's maybe from your time we did not have the internet and the IT in this social media in this sense, and you guys had a computer lab, and you guys your education was not so dependent on IT
No.
at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But I think the integration of IT into education now is massive, and it needs to happen that way because there's so much more that the kids can gain, the confidence that they gain by being more globally connected. Even while they are in a classroom here in Sri Lanka, they can they're more independent thinkers. So learning is more independent than being taught. I think during your time, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the teachers did teach you. So you had teachers like, if you can talk about teachers who petrified you, that means because the teachers did teach you.
Yes, they did.
But
Oh,
now,
yeah, all of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
did.
yes.
No, I remember
and-
grade 8, Mr. Murrell. Do you remember Mr. Murrell, the biology teacher?
Yes,
And
yes.
I remember he used to come and tell us at that time, he used to make notes. And he used to, with those stencil copiers
Yeah.
at home, he used to say, my son used to, and I make the copies, not photocopy, those stencil, stencil copy, what do you call it, handwritten notes. He used to copy, and those brown paper, that he used to make the notes and give us. And he used to go on and on about it also. I made the notes at home, it took me so many hours kind of thing. But they took the
Effort.
the effort to go beyond what they
Yeah.
need to do. At that time, I can still remember the biology team, Mr. Murray, like there were teachers like that. For
And
sure.
then correct me if I'm wrong, the three of you, obviously, I think teachers really went. There was creative ways of teaching us.
Yeah.
It wasn't just follow the textbook.
Yeah.
They made you think, they made you
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about what was on the textbook.
Yeah.
The experiments that we did, they made you think outside the box, so which I think, as we talked about earlier, it made the transition from high school to university so much more easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think now because I'm retired only 3 years ago, I would say that the integration of learning independently is much more obvious for students, because students are more independent thinkers, they are more critical thinkers, they can their skills are more transferable to whatever they do in society, like not just the university alone, but if they go to work, they can transfer the skills that they learn in school, in class, in their project work from very small
It builds your
grades
confidence.
to yes. So Riaz, to your question, like how it has changed, I think it has to some extent it has developed, it has grown, and it is more obvious the transferability of skills, the creativity and adaptability. Everything is like, I think, much given more opportunity, and
Right.
not that you can't say you did not have the opportunity, but I think it has grown. The school grows also, and the school is very research based and brings in all the latest developments in education with the teacher training. There's so much of teacher training that goes on in schools. So like kids don't really lose out of what is happening around the world in education, so that they can really grow and mature into very productive citizens when they leave school. Yes, so I think to that extent it's more than changing. I think the school also grows as we go along over a period of time, over the years, and I think it will continue to grow. That's I think very much the OSC momentum or OSC ethos, I would say, because it's the growth is in education as well. It's not the children alone, but the way that we look at education, the way that it's delivered is changed. And we keep to all those. The OSC really gives that opportunity to the teachers as well to grow. The OSC gives the teachers also to develop themselves so that they can be better teachers. So I think all that really helps, and I think we mature each year as a school, as
such. I mean, the growth is, I suppose, not necessarily as far as teachers and students are concerned. You can actually see structural growth in as far as a school is also, because sometimes, there are certain schools which basically have the same way for like 30, 40 years. But it's nice to see structural developments coming here, which of course
that's because of the support that the structure needs to adapt for the educational changes.
Right.
So I think that is all looked at, assessed and changed. I think it will continue to change. I think
Yeah, it's great. I mean,
Structure-wise, Kamlesh, we couldn't recognize the school when you came in. There's
Yeah.
like you can't get in and out.
Yes,
Also,
yes.
Yes.
yeah, it was a community Alcatraz, right?
Yeah,
we were talking about this.
security and all that.
Yeah.
Which is also great,
Good, yeah,
which is
good,
fantastic,
good,
and
good.
safety, of course, is a very important part, especially when it comes to school. Just about to wind up our podcast, this particular episode. Kamlesh, one thing that you will take out from school, the one thing that is really close to your heart, what will it be?
I think the friendships I made here, for sure. Definitely our class, Darsh, we are still very tight, and we are in touch with them, and we have a group. I'm sure it's the same with you.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
And like you said, we can meet a friend anywhere in the world, more or less. So yeah, and we are very much in touch, and that's the one I will take away from it.
And the beauty of that is the fact that, especially, yes, we all have groups, and if anybody is actually going to any part of the world, it's a case of just dropping a message on the group and saying, I am going to be here. Is
Yeah.
anybody around?
Yeah.
And you know for a fact that there are 3 or 4 people who will definitely show up and just have that going. Sanka, what about you? What would you take back?
No, actually, I had a really good time at school. I mean, I did my studies, we did our sports, did everything. So it was a very balanced environment for me, right? And I liked my time at OCS. And against like Kamlesh said, the friendships I made, Madhushan, Mufadil. What happened was the Sri Lankans, the few Sri Lankans who remained,
Yeah.
became the best of friends. Unlike in other schools where there were so many Sri Lankans, so that also made us more close to our the friendships that we made.
Right.
So I had a good time at OCS. Work as education, sports, that the whole gamut of things made it what it is. And I want to say I was at the Overseas Children's School,
Yeah.
not at OSC as now. I was at OCS.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know why they changed the name. Also.
Yeah, that's a question. That's a good question though, because OCS rolls to the tongue much easier than OSC. So it makes it so much easier. Dharshana, what about you? What would you take back?
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with both these gentlemen about the friendships and the overall well-rounded education that we got, the sports, the arts, the subjects, the friendships. But I think something that I would personally hold dear to me is the fact that I have the confidence to be able to approach anybody and anyone in any culture, in any country, and be able to relate to them, simply because of the experience that I've had growing up in a school where there were, I think, over 40 nationalities. So, like I said earlier, we truly are global citizens. We have learned to respect. We have learned to accept. We have learned to see things in a different perspective than maybe what the majority of the people might think. So I'm truly grateful for that experience that I had. So, and I would also like to thank you, Riaz, real quick, for getting us all together, because I think it's a great, what do you call it, program, that initiative that you started to bring the alumni. We are actually, in our class, we are planning a reunion next year.
Nice.
So we'll, definitely be able to, I think, get a couple of others who are living here as well and have a bigger reunion.
No, it's great. I mean,
So-
that's exactly what we wanted to do because, like I said, school has an alumni portal that we wanted to sort of kickstart. It's been around, but it's time for more alumni to actually jump on the portal, start being connected. Because at the end of the day, the connections you make in school actually last a lifetime. But in order for them to last a lifetime, you need to be connected.
Yeah.
You can't expect
Yeah.
this basically things to happen. Ms. Sureshnie, thank you so much for
Thank
being on
you.
the show. It was an absolute pleasure to see you after so many years. And these gentlemen also, basically, thank you, Kamlesh, for taking the time off from golf, for basically coming and having a chat with us.
Cheers, man. No worries.
Thanks, Sanka. Thank you so much.
Thank
Dharshana, thank you. Thank you
Pleasure.
so much for being a part of the
Thank you.
show. There you go. That's our third episode right here, coming to you from the Overseas School of Colombo, or we fondly remember it as the Overseas Children's School. It's for the International Teachers' Day podcast series. We'll be back with episode number 4 right after this.